name is Louise McKenna and I'm an occupational therapist in the Belfast Trust. This talk is on energy conservation. Energy conservation is about planning your daily activities and finding more efficient ways of doing them. Achieving a balance between activity and rest is a good way to manage your lifestyle so that you do not become overtired or alternatively wary of any exertion or exercise. It's about creating a balance of activity, rest and leisure that suit you and your lifestyle. Examples of poor energy conservation that we all fall into from time to time is overdoing it when our energy levels are high and then having no energy left later on for other things that we might want to do at the end of the day. Another example is feeling we have to complete tasks all in one go, pushing through even when we're very tired. Another example is feeling lethargic and then not doing anything at all, avoiding all activity because we feel too tired. And not planning ahead is also something that we often all fall into the trap of. Finding it difficult to ask others for help is another example of poor energy conservation. So why do we need to conserve energy? Energy conservation can help reduce our tiredness and our inactivity. It can help improve our overall endurance. It can help us manage our lifestyle and our condition. It can promote a sense of control over your symptoms, and it can reduce our overall stress and anxiety. Energy conservation can be broken down into 5 sections: planning, pacing, prioritising, posture and proficiency. The first section that we'll look at is planning. Keeping a daily activity diary for a few weeks can help you to identify the times of day or the tasks that result in more fatigue. This can be a difficult habit to get into, keeping a diary, but it is very, very useful. Planning can allow us to work rest breaks into our activities as often as possible. We encourage people to take a break before we get tired, and planning can let you see when this is possible. When we're starting an activity, it's important to plan what we need for the activity and gather everything that we need into the one place before we start, so that everything is beside us, so we're not having to get up and go looking for things during a task. It's important to plan enough time for activities. Rushing will take more energy and will increase your breathlessness, which may in turn prevent you from doing this task again in the future. And plan appointments so that they don't clash. Use calendars and diaries so that you can keep an eye on what you have coming up, so that you are able to plan enough time for each task. Secondly, we'll look at pacing. Pacing is about spreading your energy out over a long period of time. Space heavy duties out throughout the week. Try not to do all the heavy cleaning and housework all at the beginning of the week or even on one day. Spread it out so that you have enough energy for the whole week. Combine tasks where possible when you're doing things. For example, gather up items that you find downstairs and leave them at the bottom of the stairs, so that when you're naturally going upstairs, you can just gather some things with you. That will reduce an extra trip upstairs. Don't cram your day full. Spread your tasks throughout the day and throughout the week. Allow yourself regular rest breaks and lie down and rest if you need to. Try to stop before you become overtired. Try not to fall into the trap of just 5 more minutes. Recognize when you're tired and take a break. Adjust the list of things that you have to do if you need to. It's okay to do half today and half tomorrow. Alternate tasks that you're doing between light and heavy tasks. For example, alternate cleaning and shopping, which would be heavier tasks, with quiet tasks such as reading the Post or catching up on reading the paper. And avoid rushing. Rushing will always take much more energy than if you are able to do things in a calm and collected manner. Next, we'll look at prioritising. Prioritising is where we can decide what needs to be done and when. So decide what you can do today and what can be done at a later date and time. For example, a doctor's appointment or a hospital appointment will take priority over cleaning at home. When you have more than one thing to do, begin with the most important to make sure that it's done. Try and run the tasks that you have to do through this little saying. Can I do it? Can I delay it? Can I delegate it? Or can I ditch it? Are we doing things that don't need to be done? When it comes to delegating, it can be very hard for people to ask for help or to hand tasks over to other people. But if you plan and look at your diary, are there things or activities that someone else could be doing for you on a regular basis? Delegation works best if it's carried out on a regular basis rather than being a one-off. And if you know that you have delegated a task to somebody else, it can help you plan what you have left to do. The golden rule of delegation is if you delegate, you cannot criticise how it's done. So pick tasks that you know that you're happy to be done in the manner that the other person will do them. Delegation can be a sign of resourcefulness, organisation, and a desire to get things done without zapping all your energy. The next section is on posture. Good posture will reduce strain on your body. When we're in positions of bad posture, it can increase the strain on the heart and the lungs, and this will increase our breathlessness. So avoid tiring and awkward postures that may restrict breathing. For example, overhead reaching or bending for long periods. Avoid stooping over a work surface or a sink. Raise the ironing board as high as possible and use a stool to sit where possible. Try to work mostly between waist and shoulder height. And use breathing techniques that you'll discover in the rest of the video to help you when you're having difficulty. And the final section that we look at is proficiency. This is being as efficient as possible to avoid wasting energy needlessly. The recurring theme of energy conservation is to sit rather than stand wherever possible. Sitting uses a lot less energy than standing, so sit wherever you can while preparing meals, washing the dishes, in the garden shed, potting plants. Wherever you can think of a place where you could sit to do an activity rather than stand, you should. Use adaptive equipment where possible. There is a whole range of equipment on the market to help with energy conservation. Long-handled aids, long-handled shoehorns, pick-up sticks, are just to name a few. Another example of being proficient is soak dishes before washing them, so you don't have to spend so long standing and scrubbing, and then let them air dry on the drainer. So again, you can take a break between washing and drying the dishes. Cook in larger quantities when you are cooking and freeze portions for later. There will always be times when you are feeling more fatigued, and having something already ready in the freezer will help to manage your fatigue. And aim to complete lighter shopping yourself. If you have a local supermarket, you could maybe get there and do a small shop and get bulky shopping delivered. Also consider if you can do your shopping on the internet or get somebody to help you with this. An important factor in energy conservation is rest. Frequent rest periods are a must at home and at work. Balancing activities with rest, and learn to allow time for rest when planning your day's activities. Frequent short rests are more beneficial than fewer longer rests. If we imagine our energy is like a battery, if we run the battery right down to the bottom, it can take a long time to recharge the battery back to full. Whereas if we allow the battery to decrease a small bit and then top it back up again, it doesn't take as long for the battery to be full. And always remember, set aside time to do things that you enjoy. Sometimes when we're struggling with fatigue, we let things that we enjoy fall off the list of what we have to do first. So use your free time productively to keep up to doing the things that you enjoy. On your screen now, you will see some pictures to illustrate how we can carry out energy conservation throughout the home. Our first picture illustrates how we can adapt our posture to allow us to complete tasks more easily. For example, sitting to tie our shoelaces rather than stooping down. Secondly, we can see an example of how sitting rather than standing can be achieved to complete tasks. The next picture again shows how sitting can be completed during lots of activities. And in the fourth picture, we look now at how we can manage energy conservation when it comes to bathing. Lots of people find getting washed and dressed and bathing particularly difficult. Therefore, it's a good task to try and apply our principles of energy conservation too. Number one, plan bath time for when you have the most energy possible. Secondly, sit down where possible on a shower chair or other pieces of bathing equipment. Ensure good ventilation in the bathroom by using an extractor fan or opening the windows. And avoid too much steam in the bathroom. Turn the cold water on first and then add the hot. This can help to reduce the steam. And after we've finished getting washed and dressed, wrap your body in a large towel or a dressing gown and then rest before getting dressed. As we've just mentioned, there are lots of pieces of equipment that can help with bathing. For example, a swivel bather and a bath board can be used across the top of the bath and allow you to get washed using the shower hose in sitting. Alternatively, an electric bath lift will allow you to easily get from the side of the bath down into the bath and conserve your energy. A lot of people have a shower or a walk-in shower, and for this there are shower chairs and shower stools to again allow you to sit rather than stand when you're getting washed and dressed. However, be mindful how you are tolerating the steam of a shower. If you have a bath and you're thinking of turning it from a bath into a shower, just be careful that you are able to tolerate the steam. There are also some small aids and appliances that can be purchased. For example, a helping hand can help with lower half dressing. A sock aid can help get your socks on without too much bending. And a long-handled shoe horn can help get your shoes on without bending and stooping over. If you feel you would benefit from an assessment around energy conservation, ask your GP or health professional for a referral to an occupational therapist.